section course around April last year, and I did not go through the course at all. I just bought it and I left it there. So there was somebody that bought the course around the same time as I did. When she joined the support group, she did not know about the whole self-hosting or local hosting that we do with Docker. So she signed up for the 14-day free trial on Anything. Do you know that before the 14 days had elapsed, she had already mastered AI automation? Not like master, she had already consumed the whole course. You can understand and build anything in Anything once you know these 17 triggers and what they are used for. So number one, we have the schedule trigger. The schedule trigger allows you to trigger your workflow based on some sort of schedule, so that it can be once a day by 8 a.m. or by 6 a.m. by 6 p.m. So you can trigger it by 6 p.m. and by 9 p.m. whenever you want it to be. This is how you make automations run while you are asleep. Number two, we have the event triggers. As you can see on the screen, I threw in the Gmail trigger and the Slack trigger. So this one, it will go off. For instance, the Gmail trigger will go off whenever you receive a new email, and the Slack trigger goes off whenever you get a message. So number three, we have sub workflows. So with these nodes, you have the ability to have any workflow triggered by another workflow, and you have the ability to have any workflow call on another workflow. That's what these two nodes does. So number four, we have the split out. What the split out nodes does, they take an array of items and split it out separately, and the opposite of that is the aggregate node. So let's say you have 5 or 4 different items, you have multiple items, and you want to aggregate them together, gather them together. That's what you use the aggregate node for. 6, we have the edit fields nodes, although sometimes you can hear people call it the set node, because essentially what you are doing is that you are setting data and you are setting the data types. The next one is the if node. This one is basically just going to check if a condition is true or false. So you can have data get sent this way if it's true, and you can have data sent the other way if it's false. Number 8, we have the switch node. This one is very similar to the if node, except it lets you to have way more than just 2 parts. So let's say, for instance, you have more than 2 parts, like it's not true or false, but you have different parts you want your workflow to take. That's when you can use the switch node. If you go into the node configuration, you can add as many routing rules as you want. The next one, number 8, is the code node. So most people get scared when they encounter the code node, because essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to build no code workflows, but code node can be super effective and very powerful when you know how to use it right. Number 10, we have HTTP requests. This is probably the most important node that you will have to learn in Anything, because without HTTP requests, you are basically just operating within Anything native environment. But once you use this HTTP request node, you can actually call on different tools outside Anything to do your work, to perform the task you want it to perform. 11 is loop node. So for instance, you have different batch of work that you want your workflow or your agents to perform. So instead of making the workflow do it all at once, what you do is to use the loop over items, so that you can do it batch by batch. So let's say you have 100 data you want to run through your workflows, you can loop it batch by batch in batch of 10 things. So you can do it in 10 batches instead of one batch of 100. This is actually a way to save time and money we are spending running your workflow. So number 12 and 13, we have webhook and respond to webhook. So essentially webhook is just like the event trigger, except sometimes some tools that you want to work on does not have the integration directly on Anything. So what you do is that you use the webhook node to call on your tool that you want to use outside of Anything. So the respond to webhook is a way for your system or for your tool that you're using outside of Anything to send data back to Anything. That's the webhook in Anything. Number 14, we have AI agent. It's the one that we all know of. You connect a large language model to your AI agent node. That allows your agent to be able to reason, be able to think, to perform tasks that you want. Number 15, we have AI tools. These are the tools that you connect to your AI agent for them to be able to do the tasks that you want them to do. For instance, on my screen, I added the Gmail node. So for the Gmail tool, note that Gmail tool is different from Gmail node. The tool is what you connect to the AI agent. So for this example, I'm using the Gmail tool. So this can allow the AI agent to send emails by itself, to draft the email and to send it by itself. That's what the agent can do. 16, we have the structured output parser. For instance, you have some data that you have a way you want your data to be structured. You use the structured output data to essentially let the system, the workflow, know that, okay, this is how I want it to be. Finally, number 15 is the Google Sheets node. So it seems like any other node, but the Google Sheet node is actually very, very important, because that way you can actually store your data, any data that you want to store from your workflows or from your agents or from your automation system. You can essentially store. If I were to start learning N8N AI automation from scratch, this is what I would do. So I'm going to summarize the mindset, the roadmap, and the technical foundations for N8N in particular and AI automation from scratch, so that you can avoid pitfalls like jumping too early and doing the complicated stuff. So this is going to be like a series, like maybe 4-6 videos. And today I'm going to be talking about the core philosophy, what you should start with when you are learning N8N and automation. So I have my laptop in front of me. That's what I'm going to be reading off of, not everything, obviously. So if you are starting from zero, the most important thing to do is do not start with AI agents. Start with workflows. You cannot build good AI agents until you understand how workflows actually function. When I first got into AI automation, online work in general, beginning of this year, I got an Asana workflow specialist certificate. So they were doing the free course and I got the certificate, and that's how I got to know the foundation of workflows, how workflows work, because Asana is just typical workflows. You have to understand 3 layers of automation. If you understand these 3 layers of automation is critical to your success in learning AI automation. So the first thing you need to know is workflows. Workflows are rule-based, predictable, and they are deterministic. You map variables and you map conditions, and it turns out the same way every time. There's little to no error because it just goes the same way every time. This is the classic business process of automation. Normally, if you use this standard automation without AI, of course, that's what workflows are. Automation without AI, you can actually get like 30% to 20% of return on investment in 1 year in your business or whatever. And you can also build a solid business as a efficiency agency just by mastering this one layer. You don't even need to touch into AI automation before you can actually start getting paid for building workflows. Workflows on their own is also a valuable skill. So the second thing you need to master is AI automations. That's the hybrid. This is the predictable workflow that has a little bit of artificial intelligence. So it's just like, let's say, for instance, you use AI to send a personalized email, or you use AI to score the support deal, or to talk to your customers. That's just it. Then these AI automations are small controlled decisions inside a larger rule-based system. So it's not like you're including AI in the whole process. You're just adding to some parts of it. So it fits in most business use cases. This is what fits in most business use cases most of the time. You just add a little bit of AI, but artificial intelligence into the mix of the workflow. That just makes it work even better. The final one we're talking about is AI agents, which is the top layer. These are systems that make decisions. You reference memory, you use tools, and you adjust based on context. They are not deterministic. They are harder to control and they are easier to break. So that is why jumping here actually leads to confusion and fragile systems. So to summarize, this is all you need to understand. Workflow, which is the foundation, AI automations, which is the hybrid, and AI agents, which is the top layer. If I were to start learning, today we'll be building a RAG AI agent chatbot. I will be using an automation platform to build it. So a RAG agent basically is short for augmented generation. This gives answers relating to your work and in any document related to your work, your business, or whatever. So the simple answer is that a chat bot does not rely only on the AI chat models to give you answers. It also retrieves information from your documents, from database or any vector. Like for instance, today we're going to be using Pinecone Vector Store as our database to retrieve the document. We're going to start with a manual trigger. When we click execute workflow, the workflow starts. So the next thing we're going to add is a Google Drive node. This is where we are going to get our file. We click on the download file, then click on the file we're going to be using. The file I'm using is the new iOS features. I've already downloaded it and it's already in my Google Drive, as you can see. So it's already downloaded. That's what we're going to be using. And then next thing we're going to add is Pinecone Vector Agent. This is the tool we're going to use to retrieve the information from the file. So I've already set up my Pinecone account and I will show you how to set that up in another video in the future. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the AI system pyramid. This is like a way for you to understand and choose the right AI system for a given problem. So this pyramid has like 4 layers and it increases in complexity and cost as you move up. So the core message is to be able to be a problem solver, not just like somebody that builds AI automations, so that you can focus on the most effective solution instead of putting AI where you don't actually need it. The first layer is custom GPTs and cloud projects. These are reactive conversational AI assistants that have pre-configured specific instructions and knowledge. They are actually ideal for repetitive tasks, like tasks that require human initiation and feedback. The next one is simple workflow automation. These are like automations without AI. Completely predictable, logic-based, and like they have sequence of steps that run automatically on a trigger with zero AI. The next one are AI workflows. AI workflows follow fixed sequence steps that incorporate AI for reasoning and output. This allows for intelligent decisions within a fixed path. So an example is using AI to classify incoming emails and direct them to different paths. Final and top layer is their AI agents. These are autonomous systems that can work towards a goal by perceiving its environment, making decisions, calling tools, handling exceptions, and adapting to approach. They have true agency and autonomy, which means that they are able to figure out which tools to use and which order to use the tools to achieve the goal that they want to achieve. What agents offer like autonomy. The tools themselves can be other workflows and AI workflows. You can actually integrate the different layers together. For instance, you can use your AI agent to call on your workflow without AI, or your AI workflow to perform a certain task. That's what it means. So I can decide that for this particular task, I'm going to use this workflow, or for this particular task, I'm going to use this AI workflow. So that's how it works. There's also like a decision tree that can help you decide which systems to build. So if you need to be in the loop every time, you can use a custom GPT. If the steps are 100% logic based, you can build a workflow. If the order of operation is fixed, then you can use an AI workflow. If it's not, then you can use an AI agent. So understanding these guidelines can actually help you like provide the best solution for your clients that can be easily scaled over time. If you are insane enough, you can learn anything AI automation in just 2 weeks. And this is not like an abstract thing. This is something that I've actually witnessed happen. So I got my AI automation course around April last year, and I did not like go through the course at everyone. So it is officially the last day of 2025. So happy new year in advance. And I just wanted to say how glad I am that you guys are all here. For the workshop, 5 people have registered, 5 people have signed up, and there's just 5 spots left. So if you are still thinking about whether you want to join or not, this is your chance before it gets filled up. If your goal is to learn AI automation and you need some like a safe place, like a safe community where you can work together and, grow your business or grow your career in AI automation, or just learn AI automation for any reason you want to learn. So earlier I posted on my story that I completed my portfolio. Not really completed, but I have. Honestly, I've actually been thinking about this. Google just dropped the reports for AI predictions in 2026. So I just want to, AI is evolving fast and these terms are everywhere.